26 တက်လားခလေးဆရာဘယ်လိုတက်ဘူးလဲဟမ်ဘယ်လိုတက်ဘူးလဲလူဘယ်လိုတက်ဘူးလဲလို့ဟိုရင်းကဒါမော26အောင်တက်ဘူးလဲဆိုဘယ်လိုတက်ဘူးလဲဟမ်မဟုတ်ပါဘူးကျွန်တော်ပြောတာ26အောင်တက်ဘူးလဲဘယ်လိုတက်ဘူးလဲလို့လူတနန်းပဲပြစ်ထားခဲ့ဟိုဒီကအဲ့လိုတနန်းပြတာရှိတယ်ကတော့လက်တော့မတန်းဘူးကမလဲဟုတ်ကဲ့ကျွန်တော်တော့ level 4ခဲ့တယ် level 4အဲ့လို level 4အများကြီးကျွန်တော်တက်တာ9အောင်ပဲတက်ဘူးလေအားငါ့ပြေဟုတ်ကဲ့အဲ့တော့I'm the fool. I'm the fool. Tôi cháu đấy, sắp đi cháu trẻ. Xéo là gì đấy? Xéo là gì đấy? Thôi đó bà ra biết rồi. Con biết rồi. Chúng ta vui lâu gì? Tôi đâu cho nó lười. Tôi đi vài giờ vô này đi à? Vô đây này rồi. Chúng ta tới là. Tôi mới làm 20 rồi là. Tôi mới làm 20 rồi là chung là rau. Nhà đi mà. Cái mua tôi nhiều lắm. Mana ni? Mau jual dah tahu ke? Ada rumah. Tak tahu. Mana orang kata dah. Apa nak orang kata dah? Kau. Saya sini dah. Tahu nak apa? Nak kau mana? Tak tahu apa dia le. Tak ada jual lah. Wah tak ada. Dulu ni bayar dulu ni. Dia awak. Awak yang ni. Tahu tak nak mana dulu? Nak mana dulu? Ini nak mana dulu dah yang. Ini tahu mana sahur dulu. Nama tu. Kau itu baru no, kau suruh no. Ôi cho nó nhìn phải nhanh chưa để lấy cho nó chụp bộ mày nhiều nào nhiều ấy là đi gì đấy ta đây liềm rồi ispa mấy em luôn trái là rồi cho nó nghe lý là ta đào quan nào vậy nghe đâu cho nó ta nào mà rồi yên chỗ cũng được tay cũng được tao nhớ cho nó ta đi nó cho mình giàu bé có một thằng
A Gen Z guerrilla army fighting and dying for democracy. They're outgunned by Myanmar's ruthless military dictatorship. But it's the regime that's in retreat. Towns, border posts, even cities are falling after an unprecedented... just as Myanmar's brutal army tries to regain its lost ground. Oh shit! A rare glimpse of a deadly conflict ignored by most of the world. We're in Karenni State, along Myanmar's eastern border. 90% of it is now held by the resistance. This is its largest city, Loikor. We're with rebel fighters from the Karenni Nationalities Defence Force. They're showing us just how much of the city they now control.
Okay, they're starting to run.
Regime snipers are still a threat. Moving in open ground is risky. We're in bulletproof vests. Cobra, the local commander, wears flip-flops and shorts.
If they see us, so they shoot like 40mm. So this is very good cover.
Resistance fighters swept through Loikor last year during a loosely coordinated nationwide offensive that saw 55 towns fall into rebel hands. 6 months on, the skulls of dead soldiers still lie in the streets. At the front line, the regime are pinned down to just a handful of locations. The closest is only 100 meters away from us. For now in Loikor, it's a tense stalemate.
What did they have that you don't have?
They have like jet fighter. They have big track. Like they have tank. A lot of they have a lot of big mortar, and then we only have the spirit. Yeah, we have a spirit. That's why we're fighting.
The revolution didn't begin as an armed insurgency. It started out with peaceful protests against a military coup that brought an end to a brief period of democratic rule. A bloody crackdown forced protesters to flee to the jungles, joining forces with ethnic militias who've long fought for greater autonomy. This is who they're fighting against. A reviled military regime supported by Russia and China that seized power 3 years ago. The rebels are funded by donations. The regime has a $2 billion defense budget. The resistance might not have fighter jets, but they are creating their own air force, customizing commercial drones. In an underground bunker on a secret base, the units show off their most recent successes, striking dozens of targets across the country every month. Drones have become one of the most effective and deadly tools for the under-equipped rebels. Above ground in a makeshift workshop, Ko Kant is repairing one of the unit's most powerful models. It's meant to be used for spraying crops. Now it's being fitted with mortars.
We need from the airstrike, like an enemy use the airstrike also.
But you don't have planes.
Yeah, we don't have plane.
You have these.
Yeah, we only have the drone.
Behind him, a 3D printer is producing weapon parts using templates found online. This is a revolution powered by innovation and idealism. Ko Kant used to work in digital marketing in Yangon before joining peaceful protests.
We just request to them, give back our life, give back our future. But they didn't listen. They want everything in Myanmar, you know. That is not fair, because we don't want it. We don't want it. We want the freedom.
Suddenly, the sound of explosions send us running for cover. Artillery shells land close by.
How close was that, do you think?
Not really too far.
Once the threat is cleared, the drone unit begin preparing for their next mission by test flying their newly repaired drone. They're hoping to strike the military's remaining strongholds in Loikor. So far, a jamming system has prevented them operating inside the city. But the commander tells me they think they've just discovered a way past it.
What's your mission going to be?
It's going to be the drone strike to the largest command center in the Trini state. So we have very narrow chance to do it right now, and we have to, give everything we have to make it successful.
Before they leave, Ko Kant shows us his tattoos. Revolution is literally carved across his hands. His body, a tribute to his struggle for freedom. A peaceful future he's willing to kill and die for. The unit are heading out to Loikor. It will be one of their most daring operations ever. For now, Myanmar's army still controls the skies, carrying out thousands of strikes. Teachers and pupils had dug a trench here, knowing the regime has a history of striking schools and hospitals. But it wasn't enough. 4 children were killed. Amongst the victims, Dorhei Blue Moo's 13-year-old son. His younger siblings survived, but are too afraid to go back to school. We drive through neighborhoods reduced to rubble in a resistant stronghold south of Loikor. Despite the regime's atrocities, the resistance has received no international assistance. What they do have is genuine popular support. At a rebel training camp, we meet the latest batch of young recruits. In just 1 month's time, they'll be sent into battle. Their weapons and ammunition largely bought on the black market. Overseeing them is Commander Maui, nicknamed after a Disney character. He used to be an organic farmer. Now he helps lead a force of around 10,000 men and women.
Are you frustrated there hasn't been more international support for your struggle?
They are kind of like forgotten us. Even like we are fighting same value, same society, which is democracy. We are not asking for something different. We are just like the people in America, the people in Europe. We are the same. We all are human.
Do you think you can do it by yourself?
We, the people of Myanmar, are not waiting. With or without international support, we must go. We must end this war.
But this war doesn't look like it's ending anytime soon. The resistance control more than half the country. The regime holds its biggest cities and is trying to win back lost territory. Over the course of our trip, we see a change unfold on the battlefield.
We're on our way to Loikor again. In just the week that we've been here, there's been a shift in dynamics, and around 600 soldiers from the military, accompanied by tanks, trying to break through resistance positions to the north of the city and make their way into it.
At the rebel base, we find the drone unit.
Hi, how you doing?
They've just retreated here after being redeployed to try hold back the regime's advance on Loikor.
These 2 days have been very rough, and we've been covering 2 front lines.
Kant, the commander, shows me videos of what happened. After repeatedly striking the military, the regime's own drone unit begins hunting them. The rebels are chased by 3 different drones. Explosions ring out.
Oh shit!
They hide beneath trees. The attack lasts 2 terrifying hours. Somehow, they all emerge unhurt, eventually retreating to Loikor. Now in the city, as regime reinforcements close in, there's been an upsurge in fighting. We're travelling to an industrial zone on the city's edge. A counter-offensive looks imminent, and the regime troops stationed here are already growing bolder. The resistance fighters, though, remain defiant. With a fresh battle for Loikor on the horizon, the drone unit has been called into action. They identify troop movements. It's a large military outpost, maybe 80 soldiers inside. So they decide to launch an attack. They're going to use the drone they tested a few days ago, and one of their largest bombs. With the regime now on the front foot, this would be a significant success for the rebels. The unit has never managed to get past the army's jammers in Loikor before. Kant, the commander, watches on from a smaller scouting drone. The attack drone seems to be flying steadily, but then something goes wrong.
Huh?
They manage to fly the drone back to base and start preparing for another attempt. But then they hear something flying above us.
So the scouting airplane is coming. You guys can drive and leave.
Drive and leave?
Just drive.
Kant, the drone commander, just told us that their position is being compromised. They're expecting heavy incoming artillery fire, and we have to leave straight away.
The young rebels are brave and have achieved more than many ever expected. But this is still a David versus Goliath struggle. Deep inside the hills of Karenni State, a reminder of the bloody price they're paying. 18-year-old Benedetto was killed in Loikor yesterday, less than a year after signing up. He dropped out of school to join the resistance. A local boy from a humble farming family. He'll be buried in a cemetery that already holds the graves of dozens of resistance fighters.
You lost a lot of men?
Yes, we lost a lot of men.
Cobra, the commander from Loikor, served with many of them.
When you see all the sacrifices so many young people are making, does it make you think perhaps we should stop fighting?
We should not stop because of, you will see, all of these guys give their life. We are fighting for our future, fighting for our young age, We will keep going for sure.
There are prayers and tears as Benedetto is laid to rest in the ground. His dreams for a new future that so many young men and women here are fighting for will live on.